Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. This is Carla from Rehan, Allahwala's World of Connections. And today I have an honor to speak with Dr. Jill Saul Kahn, but we know her as Dr. Jill, or I know her as Dr. Jill. And she is the founder of the Everything is Right About You movement. I found her on Clubhouse in the group Miracle Morning Club room, and I think you're going to enjoy meeting her. She's a very enthusiastic, happy woman. Having said that, I want to spend time talking about her. I want to remind you that this show is sponsored by the Institute of Peace, which is an online organization promoting peace one conversation at a time. Dr. Jill, thank you so much for talking to me today. And can you please introduce yourself?
Carla, thank you so much for inviting me to your show. I know we've been talking about this for quite some time, and I'm so grateful this moment has come and we get to spend this time together on your beautiful show. And I'm grateful to know you. You know, we met in such an unexpected way on an app called Clubhouse. And very shortly after, we became fast friends, which basically turned into like family and such a global community of like-minded and like-hearted people who are here not only to better themselves and to help each other, but to make this world a better place. So I'm so grateful to be here with you and share space with your community. You know, I've been in the personal development field for quite some time, since 1983, and I have a leadership and personal development company as well. And I spend most of my days helping people to help themselves, whether it's a physical problem or an emotional problem and such. And so when I met you and I realized you're doing the same and you're helping people and you're helping them to learn English and your positivity and your heart, I knew we were going to be soul friends and soul family. So I'm grateful to have this conversation and to tell everybody about this incredible global movement that came as a result of all of us on Clubhouse, our friendship and our community.
So tell us about it. I met you first on the Miracle Morning Clubhouse, which I kind of stumbled on. Can you tell us a little about that?
Oh, definitely. You know, the Miracle Morning is such a gift. It is such a gift. And it was one of the first rooms that I stumbled upon myself. And when I came into that room, the Miracle Morning is a morning practice and morning routine that was created by Hal Elrod. And that's a global movement. It's in 125 countries. And Brianna Greenspan started, who's a co-author of the Miracle Morning Art of Affirmation. She started a room specific for this app Clubhouse. And I happened in that room and I was like, wow, what a community of loving, kind, beautiful people. And at that point, I had started my own room and my own club. And the room was called What Went Right Today. And I know you know the room, and so many of the people from Clubhouse know the room. And I thought to myself, if I'm going to contribute on this app, because I do have a lot of skills and I can help people, I need to be very specific about my intent and what I'm trying to do. And my intent was to help people focus on the good and to help people see, you know, the good in themselves and each other and in the world, because where our mind goes, our life grows. And that room was beautiful. It was such a beautiful room, and people would pour into the room and we would all talk about what went right today. And no matter what they said, I would make it right, because, you know, the idea of radical self-acceptance of each moment being a working moment is total freedom. So if someone said they were having a great day, I would say everything's right about having a great day. If they said they were tired, I would say everything's right about being tired because it gives your body time to rest, and you listen to yourself, and you honor those moments. So one day in that room, there was a beautiful young man who was he was dealing with some stuff at the time and some self-acceptance stuff. And I became, and you and I, all of us became very good friends with this young gentleman. And he shared what went right today. And instead of doing it the traditional way that we were doing the room, I validated whatever went right for him. It could have been anything. I started affirming him. And I said, of course, all those things are going right because you're good, you're kind, you're wonderful, you're amazing, you're loving. And I just kept going. And then I said to him, and do you know why all these good things are happening to you? And I paused for a little bit too long on purpose. And then out of my mouth came, because everything's right about you. Every single thing is right about you. And this young man gasped. He goes, Dr. Jill, when you said that, I felt that. I literally felt that in the center of my soul. And in that moment, I knew something had happened, that I struck an authentic truth. And not only in him, we started doing it to everybody in the room. And each person, one by one, started to feel the truth that everything is right about each and every one of us. Well, from that point on, it turned into a global movement that is now helping people all over the world. It's helping people. There are children in Ghana with Everything is Right About You t-shirts who were sponsoring their education and food programs. It's going to be in some schools, where Title I schools, where all the children are going to have Everything is Right About You Day with flags outside of the school. And it just, you know, I never chose to start a global movement. I think it chose all of us. And then a lot of loving, kind people started to come together and bring their gifts and their talents and their hearts and pouring into this movement. And it went viral. It just started taking off. And it's just so beautiful to see people starting to love themselves and people starting to accept that everything is right about them. And no matter what we're going through, or no matter what we've been through, or what we want in our life, everything is still right about each and every single one of us, that our experiences never define who we are. We're always pure, whole, and complete. And the movement was birthed from that.
And I remember, I don't think I was in the room when you first created it, but I remember in the beginning, you went around, we'd say whatever was happening. It was Everything is Right About You room. And it was such a positive room that it pulled me back. And everyone, you did, even if they started saying something negative, you turned it around. How did you make that so easy? You did it, it appeared to be very effortless. And of course, we couldn't see your face. We could only hear the words.
Well, you know what? I've been in this space for a long time. I have a company, and the program that I teach is called the Biocode System. And that's a system that I created out of need when my husband, many years ago, was back in 96, was diagnosed with malignant brain cancer. And and as a result of that, with no hope from the medical community, we needed to take it on ourselves. And I needed to ground myself and center myself to be very objective and clear-minded, to be able to take on moments and see any moment as an opportunity to make the next right choice from there. So my husband lived to tell the story. He's alive and well today. And this philosophy that everything is right about you means you're the right person for this moment. And it doesn't mean life is easy or life is good or life is simple. It means that you are born for these moments. And no matter what comes your way, you have what it takes to be able to meet these moments as they are coming to you, because everything in life is for you, right? Life is in your favor when you know how to take it on. So this philosophy that everything is right about each and every one of us, no matter what experiences we're facing in those moments, gives people that confidence and stability to do hard things. and to use those hard things to not only make them stronger, but to start navigating their life from a place of clarity, strength, and stability.
Wow. And when I know that it was rather recent, but could you tell me when this movement started?
Well, that's a good question. It's very, very recent. I mean, I think it started, I don't even know the exact date, but I got on Clubhouse in January, right? We did the Everything is Right About You room in January. And I think it wasn't but a month or two after that, maybe it was March, when that moment happened in that room. It might have even been February. It happened pretty early on. And then it started to go global. You know, a beautiful soul that you and I know, Jessica Thomas, made some beautiful rings to go around people's profile pictures. And if you look on my profile, your profile, and so many people in our community's profile pictures on Clubhouse, on Facebook, on Instagram, you'll see a golden ring that says Everything is Right About You. And that people started keeping it on their pictures because they wanted to not only feel that about themselves, which they did. They used it as a reminder, right? Because they didn't believe at first everything was right about them. They used it as a reminder. And then it also sent a message to those who were reading it that everything is right about you too. So yeah, that's when it got started. Probably, I would guess around February, maybe February or early March.
And how has it changed your life at all?
Oh, most definitely. This whole Clubhouse experience has changed my life. You know, in a time where there's never been more separation and challenges with this pandemic, in a time where people are in such depths of fear and worry, insecurity, and there's so many challenges on every level in this world. People are struggling. Work has changed. Families has changed. So much has happened. The stress levels are through the roof. And at a time where there's probably been more pain for so many people than ever in this world, our community is coming in and bringing such light to this dark space. And I do believe that's probably what was needed most in this world was like-minded, kind, loving people who believe in the good in ourselves, in each other, that see the good in each other, that lift each other up and see the good in this world. I think the world was ready for it in this moment in time. And it's changed my life dramatically because I've always been this category and I've always had my business and so forth, but never with a global community that's just coming together arm in arm, heart in heart, hand in hand, ready to take this on. And I like to say like Steve Jobs, who's so powerful, he made the iPhone, all the Apple stuff, right? And he said before he left the planet, he wanted to make a dent in the planet. Well, our global community wants to take the dent out of the planet. We want to see people treated with equality, with love, with respect, with kindness, no matter who you are, no matter who you love, no matter what the color of your skin is, no matter what your religion is, no matter how much money you have or don't have, whether you're on north, east, south, west part of the planet, that everything is still right about you. You were born for these moments and you have what it takes to meet these moments. And we're rooting for your rise. We are here to remind you that you've got this. And this global community has definitely impacted my life and now your life for sure, and all of our lives. And we're excited for more people to come and be part of this movement because it's filled with so much love and so much positivity and community.
How many people are in the group now? The last time I looked, there were 1,000. And I know that I've been there, I posted there, but I haven't looked at how much it has grown in the few months.
Well, we had a club on Clubhouse and we decided to close that club because it wasn't specific to the movement and open up a new club called Everything is Right. And that probably happened no more than like 2 or 3 months ago. And now there's almost 15,000 people in that club. I think there's like 14,500 people in the club, and that happened very, very rapidly. And then we opened up not that long ago a Facebook group, which is a different platform, and I think there's around 1,500 people already in that club, and it's the most positive, uplifting club. I know you post your stuff there, which I love, and so many people keep posting. It doesn't have to be about the movement. It's just positivity, it's kindness, it's goodness, it's belief in each other's affirmations, and the love and support and comments that are put on those posts. It's like everything's right about that because everything's right about you, and people are cheering each other on. It's like I've never seen more positivity and encouragement ever in such a community like this one. So I hope everybody goes to Facebook and finds Everything Is Right About You club and join it and be part of this movement that's spreading love and acceptance and goodness to everybody.
And just so you know, this is streaming on the club page now.
Oh, perfect.
I can put it on the page, but right now it's in the group. I'll put it on the page. Oh no, I can't. I think only you can post on the page, so you can put it there later.
Oh, I will definitely do that.
Now, you're Dr. Jill, and I have always wondered, what kind of doctor are you? And I've never really heard you speak about who you are. So I'm going to make you do it now. Hopefully you don't mind.
Oh, well, I love to talk about my story and how I started. And I am a chiropractor. I became a chiropractor in 1983. And I had a nice, beautiful practice for many, 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 many years. And, as our stories grow, we grow along with them. And when my husband was diagnosed with the brain cancer, and I stopped practicing for 3 years to help him to heal his life, which, like I said earlier, that he did as a result of the skill sets that I learned about strengthening myself in stressful situations, became a product and a program that started to take off. And from that, a personal development and leadership company was formed called empowerhousegroup.com. And now I spend my days teaching people how to use stress as a strategy for their personal growth and how to learn these in the moment exercises to better themselves. So I've always done the same thing my whole life, helping people. It's just as my story changes and grows, I grow along with it. I've written a book. I think you could see it up there, called The Gift of Taking. That came from an experience. I've done a lot of public speaking and keynote speaking and a lot of volunteer work to help people in underserved communities and jails and homeless shelters and so forth, to teach them how to accept personal responsibility from their life, from where they're at, and to give them tools to be able to do that.
And what inspired you I know you've been doing it all your life. Was there any single event that kind of inspired you to go in that direction?
Well, thank you for asking that. It's interesting. My life is very unique and different. I've always worked for myself. I've never worked anywhere else but I do what I love and love what I do. And it's the only job I've ever had. And most things in my life, if not all, come to me more than I go to it. It's not like I raise my hand and say, hey, I think I want to start a global movement, or I want to create a program to help strengthen leaders in the corporate world. None of those things happen that way. It's an incident happens usually from pain. And then I do accept full responsibility. And as a result of that, I see a spark of light, something good coming out of it. And then I take a lot of action to bring that to life. So I believe that spirit universe works with those who are willing to do the work. And I definitely am willing to do the work.
Now, I agree with you on all of what you said, but was there one single event, maybe something with your mom, your dad, your brother, some friends that kind of pushed you in this direction?
Quite the opposite. You know, I come from a New York Jewish family who were not health-minded, and they were
You know
opposite.
why I'm laughing. Go on.
Yes, I do know why you're laughing. And by the age of 12, I decided to be vegetarian, and they are meat eating, dairy, you know, they weren't health conscious. I think I was just born this way. And when I was growing up, you know, I really didn't, I knew I liked health and wellness and fitness and so forth, but I didn't have any role model or any direction in my life. And when I went to college, I literally, Carla, I applied to one college, Florida State, because my brothers went there and I felt like it would be a safe place for me. I never even gave it any more thought than that. So anyway, while I was in college, I had on my records undeclared major. I never knew what I wanted to do when I grew up. I didn't have concept and idea of it. And I took the courses, the required courses and the courses that felt right. And one day I was literally home on break and I was sitting in my parents' family room and I was holding up my transcripts just to see what kind of courses that I had taken. And my cousin, Big Dave, comes walking in the room and he's like, "Hey, cuz, what you doing? What you got?" He grabs the papers out of my hand. And he literally, Carla, he looks at the papers and he looks at me and he goes, "Jill, if you take one more chemistry course, you could become a chiropractor." He was in chiropractic school. I'm like, "You got to be kidding me." With that, my brother Perry runs in the room, who was a paramedic at the time. He's like, "If she could become a chiropractor, I for sure could become a chiropractor." The next thing you know, I'm 20 years old. I'm standing at Life Chiropractic College with my brother Perry. And I look at him, I'm so, you know, I'm an excitable person. I'm like, Perry, oh my goodness, I can't believe we're going to become chiropractors. I go, "What's a chiropractor anyway?" Like, I never even thought. I knew it had to do with health and holistic and it was natural. I never even thought to even research into it. But boy, did that start my path off in the right direction, because I fell into my place on the planet, because it was about wellness and natural healing and mindset and all the things that I stayed involved with, which I had already demonstrated at 12 years old, my whole entire life. And the story pretty much at 61 stays the same. It's been the theme of my life: health and wellness and natural healing.
And because I also know you have a room, everything is right about what you eat. I didn't say it correctly. But can we talk about not your health per se, but just the health and how you got into that? I too don't eat meat. I've done it a little, but I gave up red meat 40 years ago, at least over 40. It was in 19. Well, go on, tell your story.
Well, I do a room, which I did right before this live, and it's called A New Start, and it's the 9 pillars of holistic health, and that A New Start, and that acronym was birthed before my husband got sick with got diagnosed with brain cancer. My father got diagnosed 6 years prior to that, when I was doing chiropractic exclusively, with lung cancer, with malignant lung cancer. And he was given a year and a half to live. And what my dad didn't know is when I was in chiropractic school, I was studying, I thought it was just all about me, alternative treatments for healing chronic illness and cancer naturally. So long story short, my father was given no hope to live. He was going to do surgery, not chemo and radiation, because it wasn't going to work. And he called me with the story: "I'm sorry, this is what happened. If this is my time to go, it's my time to go." And all I'm thinking about is, it's not his time to leave the planet. It's his time to be here. I mean, he had a very hard life. You know, he was a kid from the Bronx with nothing, and he was self-made, and he had a lot of struggles his whole life. And he finally was at the point where he had money, he could travel, he could do things. And now, after we're all doctors and successful and on our own, and he doesn't have all that financial responsibility, now it's not his time to leave the planet, it's his time to stay. So I told my dad, I said, Dad, I know something about healing cancer naturally. And he was like, well, what do you know? And I started to tell him about the body's ability to heal itself and all the stuff I've been learning for literally, at that point, it was 10 years in. But again, I was never learning it to use it for anything other than the betterment of my life. So my dad says, I will postpone my surgery for 2 weeks. His surgery was scheduled for a couple of days from them. If you fly to Florida, I was living in Georgia at the time, which I still am, and work with me. And I had a brand new baby, my first son, Andy, my only son. And we flew to Florida. No books, no tapes, no anything, diet, nutrition, all the different things. I was teaching him about the body's ability to heal itself. I was showing him that there's no expiration sticker tattooed on him, and no doctor's going to tell him if he's going to live or he's going to die. That's between him and his spirit. Nobody on the outside is going to do that. And we just started going for it. And my dad, like a wilted flower, he started getting this, and he started waking up to the ability that he can heal his life. So 24/7, literally, I was teaching him, working with him, diet, nutrition, exercise, mindset, forgiveness, inner work, all the things, whatever flowed through us. So fast forward 2 weeks later, he checks himself as planned into Jackson Memorial Hospital, and all my stories are documented. And my brother is an oncologist. He was in the waiting room. My other brother, Perry, the chiropractor, my mom were waiting anxiously. And hours later, the doctor comes out. And he says, the most remarkable thing has happened. When we opened up your father, the tumor was no longer visible to the human eye. My dad, Carla, lived 18 years after that with no treatment. And when I came home from that experience, I started to think to myself, well, maybe it's more than the subluxation. Maybe it's more. Maybe it is the mind, maybe it is the emotion, maybe it is that. And we started to look at it together and said, well, what did we do? What happened in that 2 weeks? It was like a miracle. And that's where New Start came from. And we added the A recently. So it's acceptance, radical acceptance of that moment, which is basically about the movement, right? Acceptance that you're the right person for that moment and you got what it takes to meet that moment. And is nutrition. You are what you eat. We got to eat real food. Exercise. If you don't move it, you lose it, right? And just like a stream that's moving breeds life, a stagnant stream breeds disease. Exercise, water, W for the new. And we need half our body weight in clean water per day. So that's new. And then start is sun. We need to get 20 minutes of indirect sunlight every day so we can get that vitamin D hitting on our skin. So there's a huge deficiency in vitamin D. And I think it's as a result of we've been programmed by marketing to lather up, sunscreen, sun is dangerous. And now there's an epidemic of deficiency of vitamin D. Get indirect sunlight for 20 minutes a day. You need the vitamin D. Thoughts. I work on that constantly with all of my programs, right? Where your mind goes, your life grows. Air, breathing. So many people are hyperventilating through life. We need to breathe. Rest for the R. That's when our body repairs, restores, and revitalizes and renews all the organ cells and tissues in our body. And the last T is trust. Trust that you have inside of you. It's an inner game, trust what it takes to heal your life and to move your life forward no matter what. And trust that you're connected to the universal intelligence. Your innate spirit is connected to the universal intelligence, and it's got your back. Literally, it is for you and with you all day, every day, helping you to heal and to move your life forward. So A New Start came from that, and now it's an acronym, and it's used to help people to see what are the big buckets, what are the pillars, what do I need to look at a high level to keep myself healthy or to get myself well.
Dr. Jill, unfortunately, you need to be off so you can get to your patient. And we are getting very close to that time you said is cut off. So do you have any very quick words you would like to say before I end this show? And maybe we can do something again later.
Of course. Yes, and thank you so much. I do have a patient in 10 minutes, but I'm so grateful. I just want to say I'm so grateful, Carla, for you. You show up every single day, not only to help yourself, but to better humanity. You know, your work in this world is so important, and I'm so grateful for you. You encourage people on a daily basis that they can learn English, and they do, and you give them the confidence and the belief within themselves so they can show up and be the authentic, beautiful souls that they are in this world. So I just want to say I'm grateful for you, and I'm grateful for this time together. And I'm sure there's going to be many more moments that we spend together helping people.
And thank you so very much for the time you gave me today, because it really ended up being a rush. I couldn't get off of the English show no matter how hard I tried. So thank you very much for your time and your energy and your positivity. And I am very grateful that you're around. And having said that, let's remind people that this show was sponsored by the Institute of Peace, which is an online organization promoting peace one conversation at a time. And let's wave goodbye. Bye, everyone.